Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. Welcome to Locke's Life Discovered. Our guest today is Hannah Claire Huibu. And Hannah, I just butchered your last name again after we sat there and talked about it. Huibu. Yes, sorry about that. Welcome to the
Okay.
podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I tell you what, you and I have been in touch recently, and I it takes a lot to kind of impress me with new business ventures, new creativity, because sometimes it's just like repeating what's been done. You brought your own unique style to what you do. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
So how did you begin? I mean, how did this whole journey start for you?
So I am a graduate of the University of Arkansas, and I actually graduated in 3 years. And it wasn't really planned, but I figured I might as well just come on and get back home and kind of start my life. I really didn't have anything lined up. I had a babysitting job at the time, but I knew that that babysitting job and nannying is not a forever thing. So I decided to start a business. I was terrified, I had low confidence, and I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I was on a bachelorette trip in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I was about to board my plane, and I'll never forget, I typed in my computer and I launched the Instagram, and I got on that plane because I knew I wouldn't have service. So I knew I couldn't back out. And then I got home and everyone was so excited. And I remember when I came home, I went out to my backyard and I had my first photo shoot. I got the four-wheeler out there. We put a camera on there and launched it. I was so nervous, but I'm so glad I have. And we've really grown. And today I can say that I'm officially a full-time business owner. So I took my side hustle to a small business. And so now we're diving into wholesale and traveling all across the United States to grow our business and to really offer unique items that no one else can.
So to be so young, to be a new entrepreneur, did you ever think, what in the world am I doing?
I still think that every day. I think, what in the world have I gotten myself into? People,
Right.
you see Instagram and you see the highlights of being a business owner, but you don't see the nights that I've worked 17-hour days and the nights where I've had to deal with difficult customers, but also the nights that I get to see my customers and to just be able to see what my product is going to. And in the gift business, it's hard. I mean, just last week I was asked to make a gift for a child battling childhood cancer. But then I'm also making a picture frame for the new Mr. and Miss. So that's one thing that's really hard about this business is you have to really be able to adapt to your customers. But with the Busy Bees items and unique designs, we can really make a gift for anyone in any state.
Well, and that's the key to being an entrepreneur, and especially when you're self-employed, is that you have to be flexible, and you have to realize that everything doesn't go as planned. And when it doesn't go as planned, you adjust and you make it the best in that situation. And some people can't do that, and it really is a problem to me when you can't do that, because then you put so much pressure on yourself. It's like, well, that's not what I expected. Well, sometimes it turns out better than you expected in the process.
Right.
Okay, so I was going to ask you about your connection with the sororities at the University of Arkansas. So you just answered part of that question for me, but you do a lot with which sororities at Fayetteville, or do you deal with all of them? But I know you have two or three that you just did a lot of items for their rush week.
Yes. So we are currently in the process of actually being an official Greek license vendor, which means if we are accepted, we are going to be able to be a part of the official Greek wholesale community. So not only will we be able to wholesale to Fayetteville and to Arkansas State, but we'll be able to wholesale to all of the states and all of the sororities. So I was a Kappa Kappa Gamma at the University of Arkansas. Woo Pig, Go Gamma Nu, love those girls, but I also
Or
love.
click.
Yes, I also love all the other sororities up there. So really the way I got into these sororities was Kappa was because I was a member, but for Delta Gamma and Pi Beta Phi and all the Arkansas State sororities, it's putting myself out there. Being, it's having that tenacity to not give up. And there's been so many times where I've been told no, but giving up is not an option for me. And if someone tells me no, then who's next? What sorority can we go after next? And it's just putting yourself out there. It's making the funny Instagram reels. It's finding your strategy. I have so many random strategies that no one probably has ever thought of, but because I listen to podcasts and because I really sit down and I think, how can I get into this market and how can I stand out? So one way that we like to stand out is we make stuff for the parents, the sorority parents. I mean, they're the ones paying the big bucks, so I think they deserve a gift too. And we make hats, frames, ornaments, really anything that no one else offers, we make. And so that's kind of my connection to the sororities. And we're headed to Florida State University just a couple weeks. So
Okay, yeah.
for Instagram for that connection and for our marketing team that's been helping us with that.
It's amazing what TikTok, social media, all of that does for businesses, isn't it?
Yes, it's the new world.
It is. And at my age, everybody's like, you need to do TikTok to promote your events and business. I'm like, that would be like stupid for me. Not, you know what I'm saying? It's like for your age group, it's perfect. Y'all know how to do all that. For me, it would be so awkward.
Well, if you
I
need
need to
help,
get young
you have my
people.
number.
Yeah, I'm saying need to get young people like you to do that for me. So,
I
but
can help you. They're cringy, but hey, the cringier the TikTok, the more followers and the more views. So that's my motto. And I've had people make fun of me, but you know what? They're the ones that are having to be told what to do every day. And
that's
I'm the
true.
one that's able to control my life and to travel whenever I want. So
That's a good
okay.
point. So when you're going to Florida State then in a couple of weeks, is that your first trip to Florida State?
First trip, never been. Super excited.
You are going to be blown away at that campus and the whole dynamics of that area right there. So it's very impressive. I did an event there at Christmas for a local um, medical company. We did their Christmas party at there's a private club up on the main floor of the football stadium. Like when you're in this area, you oversee the football stadium, and then they had the company's logo during the night on the jumbotron.
Oh, that's
Very impressive. Yeah. So, and then one thing about it, and then going back to Fayetteville, I was amazed at the sorority houses. Like a couple of years ago, I was up in the area for a couple of events in Bentonville. Drove over to Fayetteville because I hadn't been there in a few years. And I mean, these sorority houses, they have it's like they've taken mega vitamins and just like blown up to a whole city block almost.
Yeah. University of Arkansas is a great Greek life system. Priest Bowser does a great job of leading that program. And I mean, I must say Kappa is my favorite house, but that Trident house right next to us, it's
Is
beautiful.
that not crazy? Yes. Well, I like with the Kappa house, also the Cayo house. They took the two original houses and they just added on, and it looks like it's been there the whole time. But it's amazing the great additions. But like you said, that Trident house, I mean, it just seems like it goes forever. Not only along on Maple Street, but on the side street as well.
Yes, it's huge, huge.
Yeah. So, how has your response been with all of your items at the sorority houses?
So we have sold out. I
Have
mean,
you really?
sold out
Good.
everything. A-State, we didn't sell it completely, but we had a lot of custom orders. So we're super grateful for those. But I would say our top selling items are the boxer shorts, the silk pajamas, and the ornaments, and then anything with Kappa Mom or Pi Phi Mom. My team's really great. We had a team of about 11 that weekend. So I was running back between all the sorority houses and it was great. But I can say the reason I think we sell out is because, again, we offer things that no one else can offer. And that's the most important thing when starting a business is to find your market and to find your targeted market. Who are you going after? And the market I'm going after is college girls, but also moms and grandmothers who are looking for gifts. So we have such a broad target group of people we're looking for to find and buy our products.
All right, tell us everyone a little bit about what you offer when you're like at the sorority houses. You mentioned the ornament, but explain the ornament. It's not just an ornament. It's has the sorority houses on the ornament. Is that correct?
Yes, so the ornaments have a really sweet story. So a few years ago, I walked into this house in Little Rock and they had this travel tree. And I thought it was the most unique thing I'd ever seen. It was all of their ornaments from all the trips they've ever taken in their life, from when they were like 2 to like 40. So at that moment, I said, I'm going to start collecting ornaments. And then I realized that so many other people collect ornaments too from their trips. And so I was like, what better way to have a souvenir from your Kappa Bid Day or your Kappa Mom's Day than with a picture of the sorority house? So I work with a local artist, and one of my high school friends, she's been helping me with the design and the digital design, but we use sublimation to press those ornaments on. It's very tedious, but I've really, leaned into the training of it and the YouTube, and we're a pro at it now. So they're a star seller for sure.
Well, good. And then you're also your market for like bachelorette parties for bridal groups. How
Yeah.
did how's that gone?
So back in April, I don't know if you know about the new trend for the wedding trucker hats. Um,
Yes, I was gonna ask you
everyone
about that. Yeah.
Everyone loves the dance floor with wedding trucker hats. So we got our first big order in April. We had 200 trucker hats ordered. We had a wedding in South Carolina and then a wedding in Fayetteville. And now we're helping brides all across the United States with dance floor trucker hats. And we make anything from patch trucker hats to vinyl. We can do any kind of different color. And we really just work with the bride to find what she wants. So one of my bride's last names was Friday. So TGIF is what went on their hat. And then we had their last name was Bo. So it's Bow time in lieu of Miller time. And
Uh-huh.
then
That's
this new bride we're working with, we're doing patch hats for her. So she's super excited, and I love working with brides because it's such a special time in their life.
right. Were you surprised that the trucker hats have been such a big hit?
I love a trucker hat. I do think that it might be a trend. I hope it doesn't go out, but I think it really just allows the wedding party to take something home with them, because I know wedding favors are kind of popular, but hats they can wear again. And so when I talk to my brides, I try to say, what can they wear again? Let's not waste money on just the night. Let's think of something that they can wear forever.
That's smart. That's smart. And then I noticed too something on your either on Facebook page or I'm not sure where I saw it, but you really tapped into the market with going to events and the clear purses and making it personal.
Yes.
How that's sharp. Yeah.
Thank
Because everybody wants that clear purse to take somewhere, and you came up with a way to make it personal and not seem like just I'm gotta take a clear bag to show what's in my bag, or you know what I'm saying? So
Yes. No
how those
boring
have those
bag.
gone over well?
They have gone over well. No one needs a boring clear bag, but we try to make anything that's boring, we try to elevate it. So we've added War Eagle, we've added Go Bama, we've added initials. So you can either do your team saying or you can do your initials. We can do it all.
Well, that's great. So is there a minimum order on any of your products?
So we offer individual custom orders. You can buy as many as 1 to 600 items. So we do offer wholesale to boutiques, to schools, to other local businesses. So our local wholesale order is minimum quantity is 15, and then we can do anything up from that. For brides, we do offer discounted rates for, big bulk order and trucker hats, but we are game for 1 order to 600. We can do it all.
And that's unusual because so many places, it's like a minimum of 100 or 200, and like I don't need those other 95, whatever. So that is good. Yeah. So where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I mean, when you started this, did you really think you'd be where you are already, or has it really surprised you?
So it has really surprised me. One thing that's really important to me is being a mom one day. and being able to have my own schedule as a mom. And so while I am far away from that, it is shocking that my stay-at-home mom plan is now happening at 22 years old. But it's taken a lot of hard work. I mean, I have worked 17-hour days. I've worked every weekend for the past few months, but I try to see it as if I can work hard now, I can play harder in the future. And so that's kind of my mindset. But I just opened an in-person retail shop in Little Rock, Arkansas, at the Painted Tree location. And then hopefully I will be able to expand into other Painted Tree locations. And then I really love doing wholesale and meeting other business owners. So I hope to have a spot at market in 2025 or 2026.
I was going to ask you about that. So most of what you do now is online
Right.
or at your pop-ups with the sorority houses in different places.
Yes.
Okay. That's such a good trend because there was a time when that wasn't the best way to go, but lately that's really been the key for a lot of successful companies. In fact, I know a lot of boutiques that are now closing and doing most of their business online, which you would think with boutiques and trying on clothes, people wouldn't like that, but that seems to be a good trend right now. So,
The trend. And unfortunately, I mean, some businesses are having a hard time, but again, online, that's the new market. If you aren't online, you're going to struggle because this younger generation, our teenagers, our college girls, they don't want to go in person. They want to be able to click, click, click. I want this. So
right.
online's key.
All right. And then how did you come up with the name Busy Bee?
So the busy bee is something I've been called my whole life. I have always been involved from a little girl to high school to college. I've always been involved in student council, basketball, all the philanthropy. I actually am a part of two philanthropy organizations here in Little Rock, the American Heart Association, which is really close to my heart. I have a personal connection to that. I get to lead our Sweetheart program in Little Rock along with other amazing women. And then I also am really passionate about foster care. So again, I've always been involved in everything. And so what better name to name my business than the Busy Bee? So that's kind of where it came from. And there is a lot of busy bees out there. So eventually I might change the name, but for now, we're the Busy Bee through and through.
Well, that's a good way to put that, and it fits you perfectly. So that's great. I am amazed at what you've done at 22 years old because there are a lot of people that have similar items to you, but they don't know how they haven't presented it the way you presented it. But you've also taken what you like and what you know your customers will like and make it your own style, and that's huge.
It's very important to not only think about yourself in the moment, but to think about your customers. I mean, just at my wholesale meeting today, I said, now this isn't something that I would choose, but this is something that someone else would choose. And that's important because not everyone's opinion is the same as yours. And I think different opinions are what make our world go round and what make our world such a great place. So I try to just keep that in mind, and in every strategy, that's what I keep in my head.
So is that hard for you to do when something that somebody really likes or may be interested in, but it's not your preference? Because I know for me as a wedding planner, I did a wedding a few months ago. I don't want to say which one, but the whole vibe was not anything that I would have ever been interested in or liked. And the couple, they were one of the best couples I've ever worked with. And when it was all said and done, I'm not sure it's not one of my favorite weddings. And I was so surprised because, in the whole planning process, I'm thinking, oh, it just like kills me, it's on certain items. But absolutely perfect night. I mean, it was. And yeah, it was great. So it was a nice surprise.
I think life is all about surprises. And if my customer wants something and they think it looks great, then I will do it for them. And that's happened to me too. I'm like, that actually looks really good. So it's a good lesson to learn being a business owner. And I'm sure, as you know, as an event planner, is I like to learn from my customers. I mean, just as much as they're learning from me, I like to learn about them on Instagram, and I like to learn about them in person and get to know them, because the more connection you can make with the customer, the more likely that they're going to be to come back to your business and to shop again. And that's what it's all about, is connecting with your customers. And to any small business owner out there that's looking for advice on how to take your business to the next level, I would say it's connect and get uncomfortable, because when you get uncomfortable, you go bigger places. And do the funny TikToks, do the crazy things on Instagram. Just be you and take your style and make it yours.
That's true. And I when I was doing an event or a wedding and a client says, well, you just do what you want to do because you do a great job. That's kind of like the worst thing they can tell me, because it's like, I want it to reflect their personality. It's not my event. It's not my wedding. I want to know what they enjoy, because when it's all said and done, I'm like you, I want them to be like totally blown away and make it feel like it's the most personal event or night of their life. And it's something they'll always remember. And if it's something that I say you should do, and you don't have any input, then you've kind of we missed the whole mark. So I like your perspective on that and your touch with that, because that's huge.
Thank you.
So where do you see things going from here?
So I would say until December, I'm in survival mode, because I was not expecting for my business to blow up in 1 year. So I'm in survival mode. My priorities right now are to upscale my website and to try and find more manufacturers and better relationships with suppliers, because that's really how I would be able to find a spot up market, is when I can, find the manufacturers to execute my designs and to kind of take off a little bit off my plate, because I hand make every item, which is very important to me, because I like to make sure that the quality is at my scale. But I do know that I need to find some better suppliers and manufacturers to help me kind of take this on. But I would say I just am staying positive. I'm staying confident. I'm going to continue to have my growth strategy in place and see what happens. But I would definitely say the painted tree booth and my first retail experience in Little Rock is going to be my focus for now. And then I have a few maybe crazy ideas that have been kind of presented to me that I might take, but I also don't know. So might share those soon, but we'll see.
All right. Has it been hard to find the right suppliers and manufacturers? I mean, that's because that's so huge to what you're doing. But how has that been an issue?
So I majored in supply chain management in college. And so I really kind of have a good grasp on what to look for. Ethical is really important to me. And while I do work with some overseas suppliers and manufacturers, I still would maybe like to find one that is maybe local to the United States, someone that is, local to Arkansas even. I think that it's really important to support local businesses. So it is
Right.
challenging, because it does take a lot of trust, but once you find that trust, then it's usually great. And I've had a great experience.
That's great. Okay, Hannah, we're going to put all of your information up on the screen now so that people will know how to reach you. And we've got your busybhc.com, your site. And so I would just encourage people, if you're wanting something unique for your event, whether it's a bridal party, sorority life, anything, because you can pretty much, I noticed you did something recently where people were going on like just a girls' weekend trip, and you made the items for that.
Yes, it was
So
so fun. Anything.
yeah, anything personal to make it memorable, you can take care of it.
Right. And hopefully in 2025, we'll be expanding into embroidery. So look forward to that in 2025.
Okay, and then good luck at Florida State in a couple of weeks, and then also I'll see you next weekend, September 15th, at the SEG Bridal Show in Jonesboro. I'm very excited to meet you in person and also to have you showcase all your items there, and so we're looking forward to that.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. It's a quick 30 minutes here.
I know we could have talked longer. Maybe
I
next.
know it. That's true. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And that concludes our episode of Lux Life Discovered, and we will see you soon.